We can also override and implement methods with Command O and Command I. These are really useful little classes. So if I want to, for example, make a class which is my array list, and this array list extends array list, right? It's my own version of array list, E, and let's make it E as well. Now, I don't know if you saw that. I was sitting over here and I wanted to go to the next line, so I just press Shift Enter. And remember, we did this before. If you're in the middle of a code block, it jumps into the next line in the right position as well. And now if I want to override a particular method, I can say Command O, which gives me all the methods from ArrayList and abstract ArrayList and abstract collection and collection. And of course, since Java 8, you can have methods inside interfaces. So that's why we also have methods from collection now as part of our offering here. And from object also we can override methods. So if you, for example, want to have a different, I don't know, size method, for whatever just always returns 0, for example. It's always empty. It's silly, but you know, you get the idea. So this is my array list, which is always empty, always returns 0, and as much as you add, it just objects just disappear when you put them in. So you can have, for example, let's make a test class. Let's say my array list test, and I say list of string names equals new array list, and then I say names dot add Peter and John, and if I print out names, amazing. Oh, no, that's a mistake here. Didn't mean to do that. It's the new garbage collector Z, but we want to run it, and it prints out Peter and John. Print out names dot size should print out 0. Oh no, I used ArrayList, not my ArrayList. I almost used my ArrayList, and I actually think it should print out an empty array over here. It should. It really should. Yes, no, it doesn't. It says the size is 0, but Peter and John are still there. Okay, so it was a really weird class. Doesn't make much sense. But Command O is for overriding methods. So you can see size is now doing something weird, something different. We could maybe say we also want to override the add method to say return false, which means we didn't actually add it. You can do that. You are allowed to do that. And now Peter and John would not appear. They should be just empty. Yes, it should be empty. And we can also try out what happens if we print out is empty. So sout v names dot is empty. That's sout v, and it should print out true that it is empty, even though I've added twice. I didn't actually add them, and it ended up as an empty list, empty array list. So if you want to implement an interface, let's say that I want to say that this array list implements runnable, then you would say Command I. Of course, if you're up here, you can press Alt Enter for implement methods. But if it's anywhere else, you can put Command I and implement the run method. Saying we're inside the my array list test.run. So you can implement. So implement is Command I, and Command O is override. But you can also do it differently. You can say Control Enter. Right? So if you get rid of this, Control Enter gives you this option too. So Control Enter gives a little pop-up menu, constructor, toString, override methods, implement methods. And I think if you say override methods, it also offers you the run method, which is not technically correct because it's not really an override. It's actually an implement. But, you know, since Java 6, we can even say, if we want to, at override. We couldn't do this in Java 5, by the way. In Java 5, you couldn't say override for a method which came from an interface. You could only do it from a method that came from a class. But since Java 6, which is a long time ago, we've been able to say @override even for interface methods that do overriding. So there we go. @I, @O, very useful to methods to use. And of course, Control Enter gives you a pop-up menu of these options too. And if you see this red squiggly line, Alt Enter gives you the options too of what to add. You can either make the method, the class abstract, or you can say implement the methods that need to be done in order to not make it give complaints.